News, and we've gotten this information that after the suspects in the San Bernardino mass shooting were chased and killed by police, there's been this stunning recovery and discovery. It wasn't just the pipe bombs and the weaponry that the mass murderers amassed, and that SUV in the lower part of your screen, which they rented. So you need a credit card to rent it. It was the cost of this whole devious operation, and the fact that the main suspect, Syed Farouk, only made about 52 grand a year. As detectives in the FBI now follow the money trail, Phil Segal is a very patient lawyer who does this for a living. He follows money trails. He's managing member at Charles Griffin Intelligence. Following the money trail, I would imagine detectives are hot on that trail. There could be a lot of different types of details that they can be looking at. But is this going to be harder in a way now that we know that this suspect had traveled to Saudi Arabia recently?
It could be harder. If we're lucky, they'll be looking at bank accounts. They're probably already into the bank accounts. They're looking at computers. You saw dumpster diving. They're looking for paper records in there. But there is a way to get money across the world called the Hawala network. And it originated, there are different versions of it. There's a Chinese version. The South Asian version is done on a handshake. So all you would need to do is have someone in Karachi, for example, in Pakistan, say, I want to send $20,000 to this guy in San Bernardino or Redlands, and then he goes and picks up his money from a guy on the other end on this handshake network. It's all settled via trade, invoicing, gold in Dubai. There are lots of ways to settle up, but there are almost no records. And this is a major way that people transfer money illicitly.
Well, this is disturbing at best. And you know, we started to tally the cost of this operation and how much the 4 guns, so 2 rifles, which we don't know if all 4 guns were legally obtained. So we do know that. They got their permits legally, but these guns are expensive. So there were 4 guns. There were, and among them, we said, you know, this DPMS Model A15 Smith & Wesson, the Llama semi-automatic handgun, Smith & Wesson semi-automatic handguns. These are $900, $800, $1,000. That's pricey. And then the cost of the car used, we started off around 45 grand because it's a Ford Expedition, but we now know that it was rented. We just found that out in the last hour and a half. What then can we follow?
Well, you're going to follow not only his accounts, his banking accounts, his computers. He has a wife who recently came with him as a fiancée. We know nothing about her. She was in Saudi Arabia. We think she's Pakistani, but she could come from substantial money. Maybe it's her money. Maybe it's her family's money. So they're not only going to be looking at his banking accounts, they'll be looking at hers, they'll be looking at relatives, and they're also going to need major intelligence help from Pakistan.
And his salary was
$51,000
total? With benefits, it comes up to $70,000, but that's not liquid cash. You made 52 grand? Somebody had to help this guy.
Someone did have to help this guy. The question is who helped him. And all public records, all computerized records that the government can get, mostly with a subpoena, they're going to go get, and they're going to try and find out. But if the trail ends in Alpha Corporation, Karachi, Pakistan, the U.S. government's going to need extra help, and that's from foreign intelligence in whichever country the money came from. They're going to need to know, well, who is this guy who has this bank account that transferred money to this suspect? And so the U.S. government's not going to be able to do it alone. They're going to need foreign assistance, most likely.
Well, it's tough to follow a handshake, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Thank you very much. Philip Segal, it's a pleasure to have you.